Barcelona have been eliminated from the Champions League by Inter Milan, a result that seemed unlikely because Barcelona were already looking like the favourites to win the Champions League this season. But where did it all go wrong for Barcelona? So in this video, I'll be sharing 4 factors that halted Barcelona's progress in this year's Champions League campaign. So guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you like this video and support the channel by subscribing. We are trying to get to our 1K subscribers, so make sure you support this channel by subscribing to the channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't get to miss any more of our football content. So let's dive into our topic of today. Barcelona has been one of the best teams in Europe and probably one of also the best teams in the Champions League this year. They have been the team with most goals scored in the Champions League this season as at the time of recording this video. With wonderful players like Lamine Yamal, Pedri and Rafinha being world class and all contenders of the Ballon d'Or this year, Barcelona looked very unstoppable until this happened. Inter Milan claimed the victory over Barcelona in the semi-finals of the Champions League once more. But where did it all go wrong for Barcelona? And that will lead us to the first factor I want to discuss in this video, of which is history. It seems like history has had a part to play in this year's Champions League campaign. Like the Real Madrid-Arsenal game in the Champions League this season, Real Madrid has never beaten Arsenal in the Champions League, and history also had its play in that game because Arsenal were the victors, were the better team over Real Madrid in 2 legs of the Champions League, and we know Real Madrid were very poor this season, but it's history anyway. So the Barcelona-Inter Milan semi-finals this year is a replication of the 2010 semi-finals between Barcelona and Inter, where Inter once again came out the victors in the semi-finals against Barcelona in that clash and went on to win the competition in 2010. And fast forward to 15 years later, Barcelona and Inter Milan met once more in the Champions League semi-final, and this time the results were no different because Inter came out as the victors over 2 legs. And you can argue that Inter were pretty much a formidable opponent against this unstoppable Barcelona side all season. There is so much to say about this clash, but I think history just had its play one way or the other to see Inter to the finals of the Champions League over Barcelona. The second factor I want to consider is that Barcelona haven't been the best defensive team, and we can say they have not been that good defensively, but given the fact that Barcelona can put any amount of goals against any opponent, gives them a bailout in this discussion. This game against Inter saw Barcelona concede 7 goals across 2 games. And Barcelona weren't that bad in front of goal themselves. They had 6 goals and could have scored more in these semi-finals, but Patrick Sommer was there to make sure Barcelona couldn't go through. Looking at previous games in the Champions League, Barcelona conceded 3 goals against Dortmund in the second leg, of which they lost 3-1, and conceded 4 goals against Benfica, but like I said, they scored 5 goals in that game and won the game. So it looked like it didn't matter until this point where they met an opponent that were very good. So Inter Milan were able to put up more goals than Barcelona in this game. And to be fair, Inter showed character. There was more quality across every area of the pitch for Inter Milan than there was for Barcelona. And that will lead me to my third point of discussion, of which is lack of squad depth. Yes, lack of squad depth. Barcelona has had one of the best seasons I've seen in the last 5 years. And that is thanks to many players stepping up. Many players stepping up to players of world-class quality, like the likes of Koundé, Balde, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Pedri, including many other players in the squad. But Barcelona has had their fair share of injury, with both starting fullbacks for Barcelona, Koundé and Balde, being injured, meant that Barcelona were going into these crucial semi-finals with their second option on both positions of the wing backs. We can also say in the attack that Barcelona don't have many options going forward. We saw Lewandowski enter into this game at extra time and was kind of disappointing for the whole time he was there on the pitch, missing a couple of chances. And we found out that the intensity that the starters put up for this Barcelona side was not able to be replicated by the people that came on as substitutes in Barcelona's team. With the likes of Inigo Martinez being subbed off, I think Araujo was not able to replicate the kind of performance Inigo Martinez was inputting on this game, and thus Inter Milan had to capitalize on this deficiency, of course, because I think Inter were more well-rounded in each position, in the sense that they were bringing on players that could replicate the intensity and the quality that the starters were putting up in the game. They did not actually have a moment where they felt like somebody was missing in that game. I think Barcelona's squad depth is a huge factor in why they were knocked out of the Champions League. I think it's the only area where I can blame Barcelona that they lacked or they could have done better in that area of recruiting players that would be able to replicate an intensity that would be needed for them to win crucial games like this. And the last factor I want to consider in this video is the audacity of Inter Milan. Yes, Inter Milan had the audacity to come up against this amazing Barcelona side. Barcelona, by the way, have been incredible all season long. They have been amazing. They have been brilliant to watch, especially likes of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Pedri. They have been the standout players in this team. Inter Milan had the audacity to come up against this Barcelona side and challenge them, putting 7 goals past this Barcelona side. It was like the offside trap wasn't meant for Inter Milan at all, because Barcelona have been built up time and time again by the preciseness of their offside trap, but Inter Milan just had the right mentality and the tactics to deal with this Barcelona side, and we must give them credit, because Inter Milan had the audacity to lead Barcelona twice with 2 goals in this semi-final clash. And it is important to know that Barcelona only led the semi-final clash once, and that was when Rafinha scored 3-2 away at Inter Milan in the San Siro. So Barcelona could not have a leading advantage over Inter Milan until late in the second half of the second leg of this Champions League clash, meant that Inter Milan had the audacity to challenge the potency of Barcelona. So we must give credit to Inter Milan for their courage, for their audacity to challenge this Barcelona side, which we have found that it's very difficult for any team and many teams to challenge them this season. So Inter Milan got rewarded for their courage going forward to this Barcelona side. They put up 7 solid goals against Barcelona, and they won the semi-final clash deservingly. So let me know what you think about these 4 points I just shared in this video, and what you think about Barcelona being crashed out of the semi-finals and Inter Milan making it to the finals. Do you think Inter will win the finals? Let me know in the comment section. If you like this video and subscribe to this channel, we are trying to get to our 1K subscribers, so make sure you support the channel. Please support the channel, and make sure you turn on your notification bell so you don't get to miss any more of our amazing content. See you guys on the next video.